One arrest was made in the mysterious Mexico death of Shanquella Robinson. It's been reported that Daejhanae Jackson was arrested by Interpol agents. That's after a control judge issued an arrest warrant against her for the crime of femicide of Shanquella Robinson. Shanquella Robinson was murdered on October 29th in the Cabo Villas complex. That's a tourist spot in Cabo. As of right now, Daejhanae Jackson was placed in federal custody, and she's waiting for the U.S. officials to begin her extradition to Mexico. That's where she will be formally accused of the femicide of Shanquella, the popular 25-year-old hair braider of North Carolina. The Mexican press is saying that the Mexican Attorney General used video footage showing Daejhanae attacking Shanquella to get her arrested. They used the video as proof to pin this down on Daejhanae and get the U.S. to cooperate and send her back. So wow, that video was very important in the takedown of Daejhanae. But really quick, please tell me below in the comments, what would have happened if they didn't have the video? I'll tell you what I think a little later. But it's been a couple of weeks since Shanquella's case hit social media, prompting the FBI and Mexican authorities to change their responses because initially they said it was nothing to see here. They told the public that there was no foul play. That's Mexican and U.S. authorities. The FBI originally told the family to go get a lawyer if they didn't agree with the Mexican authorities. The family ended up raising almost $400,000 on GoFundMe, but was able to get a lot of progress from social media and online media that was basically able to bring millions of eyeballs to the case and get people's attention, forcing Mexico to open an investigation, proving that the power of the internet was stronger than any lawyer they could have hired for this. And even if they hired a lawyer, the lawyer would have to figure out a way to stir people up online and garner support from the media to get the word out and push for the same outcome. The same results that going straight to the grassroots produce without the family having to spend any money. That's the power of grassroots media. You know, it's just great to see a difference in a couple of weeks, going from saying nothing happened here and fast forward just weeks later, now one suspect was picked up and will be sent back to Mexico where she will face femicide charges. And for people who may be unaware of how femicide works in Mexico, these charges appear when a woman is murdered and they somehow believe her gender has something to do with it. The suspect can be male or female, but the victim must be female. So in Mexico, you can charge another woman with femicide for the death of another woman. That's why they're able to put those charges on Daejhanae. When Mexican media reported that the video is what they used to force authorities to open an investigation and charge Daejhanae, I was wondering, okay, so what happened to the second video? Remember the second video that the parents reported was out there, saying that it showed Winter Donovan turning into a WWE wrestler and slamming Shanquella? If Mexican authorities saw that video too, why didn't they also arrest Winter? And by the way, this is the most stressful thing about this case. So much information, so much misinformation, so many stories and accounts and contradictions that it's really hard to see anything clearly. On one side, we're being told there's a second video of Winter jumping in. Then on the other side, we're being told the second video isn't of Winter at all. It's just a second angle of Daejhanae. Honestly, I don't know what to believe because the second video was never released to the public. I saw a girl yesterday on social media lying, talking about she saw a second video of Winter body slamming Shanquella. And yes, I say lying because that video isn't anywhere online. Yes, just like everyone else, she heard about this video but never saw anything. So not only do you have her so-called friends lying, Khalil lying to her parents, Daejhanae, Winter lying to them, everyone involved is suspected of lying at some point about something. And I noticed that no one ever really mentioned Elise. And in my opinion, if they're all liars, that would include her too. She didn't tell the police a different story. She ran back to America too. 1, not reporting anything. 2, lying to authorities, no different from the rest of the group. But now I'm hearing gossip reports that Elise was the hero of the group and tried to save Shanquella, which is another lie because absolutely no one tried to save Shanquella. And they all lied to Mexican authorities to be able to leave the country. So why is every other person being hammered, but it's like an unwritten rule not to mention Elise at all? I don't know what's up with that. That's interesting. It is possible for these witnesses, and some would say co-defendants, to be cooperating with authorities. Cooperating doesn't mean they will avoid prison altogether. It could just give them a lighter punishment. So these other so-called friends, they could find themselves behind bars for something. But that's only if Mexican authorities decide to push the issue. They may say, hey, we got Daejhanae. We don't need anybody else. We're going to punish her, make an example of her, and at least hold somebody accountable for Shanquella. Or they may say, no. Let's get Winter too, or let's go pick up Khalil and these other guys in Elise too. Who knows what these people are thinking? But it's also interesting that the Mexican Attorney General highlighted that it was the video that influenced their decision to arrest Daejhanae. Basically, if they're going to lock them up, they want clear evidence pinpointing the culprit. This isn't some RICO law. That could be a disturbing reality as well for the crowd pushing for authorities to lock them all up for the same amount of time, no matter if they put hands on her or not, or if they witnessed it or not. So we don't know. It could really go either way. You also have conflicting stories from housekeepers and the doctor on scene that worked on Shanquella, paramedics, police, and some of it is not lining up with the medical examiner's report. You even have a doctor saying the time of death provided by the medical examiner is an estimate. It's just a lot of inconsistencies here all around from so many people. And if the housekeeper saw her first before the doctor, why didn't the housekeeper report anything? I heard people saying that if the housekeeper didn't report anything, she should be locked up too, which I also believe is just an emotional response and people just trying to make up international law and apply it wherever they want to fit it. But of course, they are not about to lock up the housekeepers and doctors. One, these people see this type of stuff every single day. This is not the first or the last. If we think it's bad in the US, things are really bad in Mexico. You have all kinds of people coming up like this every day. Locals, tourists, and in this case, like all the others, the Mexicans, they don't want to bring negative attention to the country and negatively impact tourism. So that could be a reason why we saw so much corruption and cover up as well on their side. If Americans stopped visiting Cabo and these other cities, that can be really bad for their local tourism economy. So yeah, everyone involved had a motive to lie. Not only that, one thing we're not talking about here is how at least 4 or 5 other Americans mysteriously died the same weekend in Mexico. Mexican authorities said no foul play for all of them, including Shanquella, but no one is putting energy into investigating the others. Which brings me to my previous question. If Mexican authorities didn't see the video of Daejhanae beating up Shanquella, what would have happened to this case? Well, in my opinion, I think they would have done the same thing that they did in the other cases of the other 4 to 5 Americans that mysteriously lost their lives that same weekend. And that's absolutely nothing. So although Khalil was a moron for sitting up there recording, if they didn't have that recording, I seriously don't believe that Daejhanae will be locked up. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Shout out to our brothers Tyrone W and Dark Power for supporting the channel. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.